one of the things that I hope people realize coming up is the opportunity to get creative. And one of the things I think that will mean is the ability to do portfolio loans. And most importantly, the ability to do 90% CLTV loans and get a very low blended interest rate. We're going to talk to Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage from the great state of Hawaii, great city of Maui. But before we do that marketing thing that I clearly forgot the first time.
Again, although work very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel, that of my own. So let's get it going. And by the way, small correction, it's the island of Maui, but I'm in the
Oh,
city of, I think, Wailea or so.
oh okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So sorry. Didn't
That's
want to
right.
get too particular, but yeah, sorry.
No, that's great because I've only been to Hawaii once. So, or man, I think I've been twice. But yeah, geography is not a strength. So appreciate that.
Good thing you're not a geography teacher and you're an
Yeah,
investor
no, it'd
because,
be
yeah, you're
horrible. It'd
crushing
be
it in the
horrible.
investor side.
Yeah. Know your strengths, Steve. Come on. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
But I want to talk about the opportunities coming up. And part of being a great investor when the tide gets rough is knowing how you can structure deals.
Right.
So let's start with portfolio loans.
Mhm.
First off, we need to define what those are, right? So why
Mhm.
don't you go ahead and just define generically what a portfolio loan is?
Generic and excuse me, not generic, portfolio and or blanket loans, as described in other ways, is where you're just able to group together multiple properties under one loan. So there's I guess advantages or benefits to that, and then disadvantages in some cases. So advantages, obviously, one mortgage payment a month. Sometimes also it's a need because in smaller markets where individual properties cannot meet certain minimum loan requirements or other minimum requirements, that's where you can group them together. And so as a whole, then you can kind of meet those minimum loan requirements. So that's typically the benefit. But the downside, typically, at least in my case, is where down the road, if you want to sell one separately or refinance one separately, you kind of have to do them all at the same time. So pros and cons in certain situations, but it just depends on your overall circumstances and your strategy for the property to see which the best route.
Yeah. One of the things again that I see coming, I say this as somebody who's done this several times, is when the tide goes out, there are some owners slash landlords that, they're done. And typically when that happens, I remember a 14 unit deal I did 5 or 6 years ago. But like, I just want out. I want to sell it one time. I want to sell it to one person. And the portfolio loan is the right answer, or at least it was the right answer to me in that case. And,
Right.
there are the downside is you can't refi all of that. But again, you should know what you're doing going in. These are assets that I plan to hold forever. Or if I do ever
Right.
check out, I'll actually sell one and pay off the loan. There's that much equity now. But
Right.
yeah, I think there's going to be opportunities for folks to do portfolio loans. People just, when a seller wants to sell, they
Oh,
just want
yeah.
to sell
They
once.
want out.
They want
Right.
out, right? Yeah.
Now I've seen several recently as far as portfolio, loan requests, anywhere from 10 to 20 different units. So there's definitely opportunity out there, but just like your hat says, just do the work.
Yeah.
And just like Jason, who's because I'm part of the Facebook group too. I saw the
Yeah.
post that he put up with the yeah, I made a really, obscenely rude or offensive offer,
Yeah.
20% under market, and then got the seller to carry that 40%. So that's
Beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. Good work. Good work,
Good
Jason.
work, Jason. Yeah. And so let's talk about that. So again, one of the things that I think's always been interesting on this channel is the 90% CLTV loan, right? It's the way you can put
Agreed.
together. It's high leverage. You can get a lower interest rate, which a lower blended interest rate, which today makes all the difference in the world. But
Right.
again, sellers want out. Rates are high. Buyers are low. It's time to get creative and learn what a
Mhm.
90% CLTV loan is. Learn how to do a
Right.
50-40-10. Um,
Mhm.
I think that is going to be such a powerful tool. Like every real estate investing tool has a season. Like it all works all the time, but there are
Right.
seasons where tools are more helpful than others.
Right.
This one for the next 2 years, right? You got rates at 8% or higher. You go get 50% at that. You go get 40% at 2% blended rate. Bingo, bango, 5.8. You
Right.
know, everybody's
Oh
happy.
no, it's an amazing thing if you could find the right kind of motivated seller and then structure in a way where it makes sense for both parties, it's really a nice tool to have in your back pocket. It's just having to do that extra work because you really have to have a much more meaningful conversation with the seller, and that sometimes takes a little bit of extra steps because you might have to go through the listing agent and so on and so forth that may not understand this whole concept either. So I've been able to kind of talk to some agents to kind of explain the situation. I'm trying to create some sort of pamphlet that the company doesn't really have because most people don't really fully understand. So sometimes it's like a long phone call and a long process that doesn't always plan out, but at least people are getting more educated about the product.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I see the 50 40 10, the 90% COTV loan being a couple of things. For the buyer slash investor, it's a low down, lower blended interest rate. For the
Right,
seller, folks, it's a higher number. They
right,
lower taxes, they maintain
right,
income,
right,
you know. And then, oh, by the way, if you smash the 90% CLTV with a portfolio loan, you could
right,
really make some hay.
right, right. So I guess again, half jokingly, but my product seems to be like a Swiss Army knife of loan products because then it just depends on the circumstances. Do I pull out the magnifying glass? Do I pull out the tweezers? Do I pull out the little scissors? You know what I mean? So it just all depends.
Yeah, at the end of the day, folks, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity. Again, shout out Jason for once again proving it's possible. Writing
Yes.
offers, disrespected, getting seller financing. In an environment at 8% mortgage rates where affordability is at a crazy low, it's the creative investor who is doing the work that will
Yep.
find the great deals. And if you don't know what we're talking about, 90% CLTV, or you want to get some additional questions, how should they reach out to you?
Email SDAO at velocity, the word mortgage spelled out.com. In the subject line, please put the acronym ORAAT, which stands for one rental at a time. The body email, brief description, what you're looking for. Address would be great. Your mid FICO score, phone number, and typically 24 to 48 hours. I'll be in touch unless I'm sitting in Hawaii. So, but I do have my assistant running the desk. So, yeah, email away. I'll get back to you.
Dude, I appreciate you doing this 6:30 in the morning. I understand you've already done your workout. Maybe go have breakfast, have some
This is
fun.
nothing. Yeah, this is. I mean, this is all this energy all the time. You know, it's easy to turn all on, but hard to turn off. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this is usually not nothing. So, thanks,
Yeah.
Mike.
You got it. Take care of yourself.